Hey, good evening, and welcome to the Uptown Parlay Podcast. Now, your host, Ace.
On.
If you could.
Okay. No, no, that's fine.
Welcome to the Uptown Parlay Podcast. We got Ace and Malik.
What's going on, man?
You know what's going on? Black History Month. That's what's going on.
It
That and these
is.
kids.
It's almost over. It's crazy enough. It feels like it just started, as usual.
I know. It's a weird month, February. We're getting hit with another snowstorm up here.
Right now?
Tonight, it starts at 10 p.m. Another foot and a half of snow. So I see
Hey.
what everybody's doing down south.
Look, it's windy. That's about the worst the worst I could give you here. It's sunny, but it's windy. And that's about it. But we getting this podcast done. So even though like in the midst of all of the craziness we got going on, we getting the show done. So hey, let's just jump into it.
And that's what matters. We are going to get into three things today off top. All-Star Weekend, NBA All-Star. We finally got a good game for the first time in about 5-6 years.
Feels like longer than that, but it might be because it's funny because you got to kind of go back and watch the games to remember the last memorable game. For whatever reason, feels like it was the Stephon Marbury Allen Iverson game, which feels like it was like 15 years ago. That's the last one that I like. Yeah, I mean, or maybe like the last one that Kobe played in. Like I don't remember All-Star games after they get played. This is what I'm saying. Like once the game's over, I can't remember the last one where I was like, I got to go back and watch the replay of that All-Star game because it was so memorable, you know. So, but I agree, it was a good one.
And I think the main reason for that is that Victor Wembanyama took it serious. And because he could just go up there and throw your shot to the third row, it's like, oh, well, I can't go out here and get embarrassed. So now I actually got to go out and try. And that's really all it takes. That's what they were talking about.
Agreed. I think that's been the conversation for so long is that the leaders in the locker room needs, when you're talking about a locker room full of all-stars, right? The leaders in the locker room, they need to be the ones setting the tone and letting people know that to take this seriously because you might be a one-time all-star. Like if it's your first all-star game, right? And you walk, I think it could probably be intimidating. You may want to play hard. Like, Jalen Brunson might want to play hard or, Jaylen Brown. Those guys may want to play hard because, especially when it's their first or second time in there. But then if you get there and LeBron, who's there 15 times, and Steph, who's there 12, 13 times, and KD, who's there 15 times, none of them are playing hard.
Then why am I going to do it?
Then what incentivizes me to go ahead and do that? So it's really about the leads in the locker room. And so shout out to Wemby for being that leader in the locker room and deciding that he was going to take the bull by the horns. You know what I mean?
It just takes one maniac to take the game seriously for everybody else to be like, oh, either we're going to get dunked on or I got to take this serious.
Yeah. It's kind of what it's like, it's this is what we doing? Okay, cool. No problem. Game on.
And Ant-Man finally got it together and played like a real game for once, which was interesting. The rest of it, because of the Olympics and how everything got bumped up super early on Saturday, I didn't like that, but hey, the Winter Olympics, I guess it's more important than the NBA All-Star.
Was that the reason that all of the times got pushed up? Because I thought it was okay. Yeah, it was off for me too because I was making moves, doing a couple of things, and then just kind of check it out. That's why I recorded everything and I watched it later because I didn't know when things were happening. So okay.
Yeah, had to go back on Peacock and watch the 3-point championship with Damian Lillard beating everybody on a leg and a half, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Which people were like, he shouldn't even be allowed to enter. I thought you was injured.
Well, he's not injured. See, I think that was just funny to me because I'm like, he got hurt in June of last year.
Yes.
In the playoffs, okay? You don't stay hurt until next year. You don't stay hurt until next season. That he gets the surgery. It's been 9 months since the surgery. Yeah. He's training, he's working out, he's getting ready. He's just not ready to go play a full game of NBA basketball yet. But
Yeah,
I would imagine that he's shooting. You know what I mean? Like he could have probably done the skills competition or something like that at this point
probably.
in his day. But it's like to think that like injured means you can't do anything until you come
Yeah.
back. That's just ridiculous to me.
Mm.
And he showed it because he came out there and beat all of them. It's not even like if he's hurt. To me, you know what, Ace?
Mm.
That tells me more about the guys who lost to him because he did that shit on a leg and a half. Okay, so if you're Donovan Mitchell, if you're Con Knipple, if you're
Booker.
Bobby Portis, or any Devin Booker, any of those guys, what does that say about you?
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, it does make them look worse than it does make him look
It,
bad. That's true because y'all been
hey,
playing all year. Y'all should have been warmed up and ready for this. You know,
exactly. I came in ready to go.
he's
Took
just
your
going
money
to
and
practice.
took your money and your trophy.
Yeah. That's a very good point. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not even thinking about that hard. I was thinking more about the slam dunk because I enjoyed it because he jumped over E40, the kid that won,
Yeah,
Caden
yeah,
Johnson, even though he's on a
cause
two-way
yeah,
contract. And then people were more impressed by the dunks that Mac McClung put out online than the stuff that they saw in the
yeah.
slam dunk contest. But it kind of ebbs and flows, man. Like we don't get superstars doing it, but an idea that I had that I really thought I was talking about with my barber the weekend before was that if he wasn't hurt, they need to go and get John Morant to go get in this finally. Because if John Morant is in it, then they can actually show. Hold on a second. If they can get John Morant in it, then they can actually get somebody who'll remind everybody how athletic he is, and maybe somebody will actually want to trade for him out of Memphis. He needs to remind them of who he is and what he could do for a team. And going out and showing out in the slam dunk contest, or he's not that much, he can't really shoot that well. So he needs to remind them, oh, yeah, this cat is still 26 years old. He's still that athletic. I can go out and do this, and I can still dunk on people from the point guard position. And that's something that he needs to like pump himself up and show them, like, that's why I'm still that dude, and I can do this.
So I'm glad you brought. I'm glad I'm on this show right now, so I can speak. I can talk my shit about the damn dunk contest because I haven't gotten to talk my shit about the dunk contest for some time.
Nobody's
Um,
talking about it. They're just blazing over it like it was just mediocre and mid and wah.
well, I mean, it was, but the problem is, so I think the dunk contest. I think people need to recognize a couple things. Well, number one, I'm not disagreeing with you about the John Morant theory, honestly, because I don't remember was the trade deadline had passed by the time our game came around, right?
Yeah, a week.
Yeah.
It was a week before. Yeah.
Yeah, so there wasn't anything he could have done
No, but
during
by
All
him
Star
doing this now,
Weekend.
leading into the
Yeah,
summer, it raises his stock a little bit. Like this guy still
yeah,
got it. He still has something
yeah,
left in the tank that he wants to prove.
yeah,
People want to
yeah.
see
Okay, I get that.
to prove it.
So yeah, I don't disagree with it. I think and this is just not for just John Morant, for any player, any opportunity that you have to showcase what you're still capable of doing in what amounts to be a trade year or a contract year, you should absolutely do it. But with respect to the dunk contest in particular, I think we are at a real crossroads with the dunk, and I think I've thought this for years, but I think we're at a real crossroads in the dunk contest. And what I mean by that is when the dunk contest first came in the 80s, in the 80s and stuff like that, every dunk you could see in a dunk contest, every dunk that a person could come up with in a dunk contest was something that was based solely on their ability to jump high and to do something ingenuitive, or to put some ingenuity into it or whatever, and make it interesting, right? But it was only solely based on like these athletes being able to do this with the time that, remember, well, you got NBA players, they don't spend time putting together the dunks, like doing this. Like this is not what they do. Dunking is not like dunking for show. Dunking in a game, right, is what they do that, right? But dunking for show is not something that they do. It's not something that they specialize in. So
Facts.
we've gotten to a point where pretty much from an NBA perspective, if you're an NBA player, in order to like, you don't really spend a lot of time doing this, and this art form that has now is now really like, you need to be somebody that's a professional at dunking. You know, And that's what Mac McClung is. Mac McClung is a professional at dunking. He practices this, he puts in time, he puts in work to do this. It's almost like an artist, right? Dunking right now is an art form. And granted, there's so many different types of dunks that people can do, and you see it on TikTok and YouTube and all of that stuff. But in order to go out there on a national stage and to do those things, it's not something that you can just easily go ahead and do if you're an NBA player who you may spend 10 hours of practice, and how many of that actually do you actually spend practicing dunks? So when you get the Kashad Thompsons and these guys coming out, even a John Morant, if they're an NBA player, they're probably not spending a lot of time in their practicing on dunking. So this is the area where I say, like, yeah, I think people are giving LeBron a lot of hate. People are giving, KD or these guys a lot of hate for not entering the contest, not entering the competition. But if you really think about it, like, what can they do aside from there have been very, very few pure, like, artistic dunkers in the league over the last 15, 20 years. And most of the dunks that they do have been done 10 times over in college tournaments, in these tournaments, that tournaments. So I agree with you that having the stars enter the contest would be big for, like, the value of the dunk contest itself, and for you to say that you saw a dunk contest with these star players like a John Morant. But I don't know if the quality of the dunk contest would improve from that standpoint, because just because you're a star,
Yeah,
doesn't mean you know how to do this.
that's fair.
and 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 just because you can dunk,
Yeah,
what time do you take actually working on the dunk, the art of the dunk, to really come out there and and put on a show of things that people have never seen before? That's
yeah.
not what you do. You're on a two-way contract and you got all that. Yeah, it's not. And and honestly speaking, then it should never be. So I don't know how you quote unquote fix it. I think, yes, the theory is that, but I'm willing to bet that if in 5 years a group of superstar talented players, NBA players, go in and join the dunk contest, which will probably never happen. But let's say it does happen.
Yeah.
We will. I'm betting the media would still complain about the value of it, because they won't do any dunks that would be like, holy crap,
Yeah.
something you've never seen before.
Well, people are saying, a lot of people say it adds to the superstardom, or it adds to the name, and it allows you to sell sneakers like Vince Carter being Air Canada and stuff like that. I would say, if that was true, it would have helped Aaron Gordon and it would have helped Zach Randolph. But I would
Exactly.
also point out, both of them signed max contracts with their original teams. Zach LaVine got a max contract from Chicago after he got traded from Minnesota.
Right.
Orlando gave Aaron Gordon a max contract, and now he's an NBA champion, and they need him back to win that. But him doing that dunk underneath both legs is the first time I've ever seen that, and the only time I've ever seen that. And that's still the greatest dunk I've ever seen in the slam dunk contest. That 2016 slam dunk contest was amazing.
Right. And it's not because, and again, that's what we're saying. It's not because he's Aaron Gordon, because you didn't know Aaron Gordon. Most casual basketball fans didn't know who the hell Aaron Gordon was before.
Knew him from Arizona, but I didn't know he could dunk like that.
Exactly. So it's not the star, it's not the name, it's the dunk. It's what he was capable of doing in that moment.
The ability. Yeah.
And the ability. And so what you found out was, oh shoot, Aaron Gordon really does this shit.
Yeah.
Zach LaVine really puts in the effort to do this shit. It's not just, he's not just playing around. And when you get guys who, Kashad Thompson, the dunk contest being what it is, regardless of who it is, what the dunk contest has shown us over the years is, if you can do something that we've never seen before and be good at it and complete that shit, it could be a pretty big dunk contest. It could be a pretty amazing feat. It doesn't have to be.
He jumped over a grown man and dunked it, and people were like, "Man!" And I'm like, "What are we doing here?"
Because we're always jumping. Because according to that, they're always jumping over people. You know what I'm saying? Like, didn't somebody jump over Shaq like a couple years ago? Was that
yes,
Mac? I think was that McClung?
It was McClung.
Was that McClung?
Yeah, two years.
He jumped over Shaq, or so jumping over somebody or something, I think is ho hum. because Blake Griffin jumped over the car, and then like there's always something to jump over, and it's I guess
Okay.
it's cool, I guess it's interesting, but
Showmanship.
yeah, but it's the showmanship. That's what I mean. Like it's the showmanship. It's the art of the dunk. It's the art of it. I think it has less to do with the who, and it's really the what. What are you capable of doing, and what are you able to show? And if you're not somebody that's why Mac McClung wins every year, because Mac McClung practices this shit. He knows
Yeah.
that's his main event, right?
Well,
If
he's
he
still
don't
in
do
the
shit
G
else
League,
this year,
right?
he's
Like, yeah.
gonna do it. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know.
I'd put him on the
So
roster just
that's
for
my
that
feeling.
alone, honestly.
That's what Philly did. That's what Philly did. I think the maybe not the first year, but the second year they definitely did.
This is not something I
He
said we
wasn't.
were going to talk about, but to that point, the teams that are tanking, they need to
Mhm.
make the game more entertaining. You can't just have these bumps out here that people shouldn't say bumps. You can't have these NBA players that are young out here that nobody's ever heard of. And then also, Charles Barkley said that they shouldn't be able to raise prices unless your team's 500. The NBA is probably not going to be able to tell them how to run their stadium, but if you can bring somebody in who could dunk like that in game, that'd be dope. Sean Kemp never won the slam dunk contest. Great in-game dunker. Could dunk on anybody. One of my favorite
I,
players. So
I
to
agree.
that
I
point,
would. I would.
100%.
I would. I absolutely would. Look, I mean, Adam Silver said it himself during the whole festivities. He said he made a mention that the NBA is entertainment.
Yeah.
Basketball, the NBA is entertainment. And so if I've got a team that's got 15 wins in February and we ain't winning shit, we ain't going to nobody's playoffs, right? Then you know what? I might sign the professor to come and play for a couple of freaking give him a 10-day.
Give
Let
him
him
a
come
10
in
day and see
there,
what he can do.
give him a 10-day and see what he can do. Because to your point, if that puts butts in seats and that makes it entertaining, then
Hey,
you know what? It's the dog days of the NBA season. We already know who's going to be in the playoffs. We already know who are the best teams. It's already pretty clear. And if
yeah.
you're on the bubble of that, or if you're just like just playing out the remainder of the season and you're quote unquote tanking,
Mm-hmm.
whatever, man. Just go ahead and do it. you know, just put it in, man. Hey,
Yeah.
you know,
All right.
and maybe
Fair
you
enough.
catch lightning in a bottle. Major league it. You know what I mean? Like remember Major League? They did that shit.
Yep.
All of a sudden they were in the freaking pennant. You never know.
We're gonna keep on playing until we make it to the pennant race, even though we're 25 games out of first or something like that,
Yeah,
or 10 games out of
it's
first. The NBA.
there's 82 of these things to be played. All right. So what? We 20 games out of first with 30 games left. All right, we gonna make these 30 as fun as possible, as lucrative as possible,
We're
as
gonna go
great as
20 and
possible
10.
for the fans. Yeah, because the
Make it
last thing
hard
you
on
want is a
somebody.
team. The last thing you want is a team winning 19. As a Knicks fan, right? We've been through 19 win
Yeah.
seasons as Knicks fans. We just grinned it. We just
Yeah,
bared
man.
through it. We just bared through that shit. If they would have been like, hey, you know what? For the next week, we're gonna have just a bunch of N1 people come in and join the Knicks because Chris Duhon is trash. You know what I mean? Like, hey,
Throw
we're not gonna
AO out
complain
there
about that.
and Escalade. Let's do it.
Let him play. Let's see what happens.
Yeah. To that point, was it not to that point, but teams that are like you said, the Knicks were so bad for so long. Yeah, they weren't intentionally tanking. That's what's funny part. People would call
That's
that
true.
ethical tanking, kind of like what the Kings are doing. The Kings put the best roster together that they could, and they're still terrible. So
Yeah.
that's what we mean by ethical tanking. They believe the Utah Jazz could be better, and that's why they got fined because it was so blatant. But I think it also has to do with the people betting on the games, which we are a sports betting podcast, greatest in the world, if I must say so myself. And
Absolutely.
if you're going to pull everybody in the fourth quarter, and all of a sudden y'all was up 8 points, meanwhile y'all was underdogs, y'all just messed up my bet because I just had y'all winning this. And you pull Markin in, you pull Jaren Jackson Jr., and like, what are we doing? Are we trying to win or are we not?
Yeah.
Because you're not the worst team in the league anymore, easily by
Yeah.
talent. So just let them play because we know you're not going to make
Yeah.
the playoffs. And the odds are
Yeah.
flattened out anyway. So what difference does it make? You got Ace
Yeah.
Bailey. You
Exactly.
got a better team. You got a better defensive team. You should get more wins.
Exactly.
But somehow they
Exactly.
keep lowering the bar in Utah, and he's still pissed. But it is what it is. Mm-hmm.
And if you want people to pay attention to your team next season, showcase the guys that are there that are playing well this season. Because that's who the
Yeah,
fans will come back for. The fans will come back if Ace Bailey's doing his thing. If he's lighting it up. The fans of the Dallas Mavericks ain't going to the playoffs, most likely. But fans are coming back because they get to watch Cooper Flag every night, and he does something
Yeah.
amazing. Even when they lose, he still does amazing things.
To win Rookie of the Year. Yeah.
Exactly.
Spurs, biggest game tomorrow, 7 p.m. on Peacock. Spurs Pistons. NBC, I believe it will be on there as well on broadcast. Maybe not because of the Olympics. 240 win teams. The Spurs are 40-16. Pistons are 42-13. The line is not out on it yet. Neither of these teams are playing today. I'm gonna let you go ahead with your pick first.
Yeah, I think the Spurs are probably the most dangerous team in the NBA. Not just because of Wemby, but because of the way that when they're clicking, when you can watch it. When they're clicking, they are extremely hard to stop. And then they also have Wemby. You know what I mean? It's like they kind of remind me a little bit of, remember the OKC Thunder when they had Durant, Westbrook, Harden, Ibaka. Like that whole team was just a bunch of young, just young thoroughbreds, just running up and down the court, doing whatever the hell they wanted to do, and just feasting on the NBA. That's who they remind me of a little bit. And funny thing is, they're a better defensive team than that OKC Thunder squad was. They're just as
because
exciting. So yeah. But they're just as exciting, and any day any game they can explode. Detroit is the ultimate try-hard team, in my opinion. They play great defense. They remind me a little bit of the 2004 squad that won the championship, with Billups and those guys. Like, they play great defense.
Because they will fight you.
Yeah, and they will. They absolutely will. They have no problems getting completely, to the shits with it. You know what I mean? And the NBA and the refs are letting them get away. They're letting them play, right? To some degree. They're definitely allowing that to happen. But I don't look at them and say, from a talent perspective, they should be outplaying anybody at the top of the situation, right? Disappointed wholly by how the Knicks have allowed them to kind of walk all over them on multiple occasions. But I think that's more of a toughness thing than a talent situation. So yeah. I say all of that to say, regardless of what the line is, I mean, I expect it to be anywhere between 2 and 4 points.
Yeah,
it doesn't, and it really doesn't. Well, it does from the standpoint of, like, are the refs going to allow them to really beat up Wemby? They don't have Stewart. They don't. Duran is still there, but I remember they don't have Stewart. A couple of their bigs are out in Detroit.
Just if they're Stewart. They allowed, still got Paul Reed, and they still got Duran. Yeah.
So if they're allowed to really, like, lean on and beat up on Wemby, then maybe that it gets interesting there. But if it's a straight talent for talent, I think the Spurs take it. I don't really care what the line is.
All right. As long as Detroit doesn't have to win by 5 or more points, I expect them to be able to win this, because bigger guards give the Spurs problems, because they can stay outside, and if they have to bring Wemby out to help them on defense, then it opens up the middle for Duran and other players to get to the rim easier. Stephon Castle isn't little. He's 6'4", 6'3".
Yeah. Neither is Vassell Vassell and what's his name? And they still got the old guy. What's his name? I say he's old, like he's older than me. Harrison Barnes.
Well, I think you're thinking of De'Aaron Fox.
No. Fox. I remember. Well, Fox is not a big guy. Fox would be. I mean, he's
6'3".
For a point guard, but he's not a big guy. I was thinking Barnes. About 6'8". He goes about 6'8".
Yeah. The vet, been in the league since 2012. Yeah.
So
on year 16. Yeah. But I think big guards are going to give them problems, and I think that's going to be a big issue for them. So I think that they can continue to make this run, and I think Detroit can win this game kind of easily. So as long as Detroit doesn't have to.
What's the line? Yeah. So you said you don't know what the line is yet. It hasn't come out yet. Okay.
But let me check on DraftKings real quick, because we got some time. I'm just going to buy a little bit of time.
Yeah.
It's not loaded.
I would also be interested to see if they played each other already, and because they might have already played each other in San Antonio. What that game came out to be, how that game looked.
Mm-hmm.
Because basketball of all the major sports, in my opinion, basketball is probably the most predictable game in terms of what you saw last time. We're probably going to try to do the same thing that we did this time. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's more of a, if Wemby scored 40 on you in the last game, he's probably going to do the same thing to try to score 40 on you again. We're not going to switch things up all that much because it's talent on talent, skill on skill, your best versus mine. You know what I mean? So I expect the results. This is why it's always interesting when people talk about, Detroit and like the Knicks, right? Or the Detroit, however,
Yeah.
when two teams have played each other, because how they looked in the regular season, it doesn't really change all that much. The postseason, they always say postseason is different, which it is. But in the regular season,
You just
it
get to
gets
make
pretty
more adjustments.
predictable. Yeah, it gets pretty predictable in the regular season, game to game.
They haven't played each other at all. That's crazy.
Okay.
I'm kind of surprised.
Yeah.
They haven't played each
Okay.
other once because I know they've made a couple of East Coast trips because the Spurs have already played the Knicks. Unless I'm missing the game, they've played Washington. They've played a bunch of other teams. They've played Charlotte, but yeah, they have not played Detroit, not one time.
Okay.
Detroit has not gone there once. Yeah, so this will be the first time these teams are meeting,
Yeah. It'd
and
be
then they're
really
going to play
interesting to
them again in
see.
March. Yeah,
Yeah. It'd be really interesting to see when Detroit has to go west and what they look like when they go west and they have to play
yeah.
against these teams. So cool.
I still got the Knicks going to the finals, so it don't matter. But maybe I'm being a homer. You know. All right.
Tracy Morgan. Shout out to Tracy Morgan if you listen to this show. Tracy Morgan reminded me on a video not too long ago. It was an interview he was doing with somebody. I think it was on
Hmm.
ESPN. He reminded everybody, which something that people don't remember, that Boston took it to the Knicks in the same way that the Pistons have done this year. Boston did this to the Knicks last year, and
It's true.
exactly,
You beat them in 6.
and exactly, and the playoffs went an entirely different way. So it could happen again.
Yeah, yeah. And on a side note, Jaylen Brown is leading my MVP vote, and I might put some money on that a little bit later, depending on how he finishes out February, because that man is
What's
carrying that
his
team.
What's his odds right now? What's he looking like?
He is, I think, third or fourth in line because Jokic still has this number of games. He's not ineligible yet, but I think he's third in the MVP voting now. Yeah,
Okay, yeah, I'd like to
yeah.
see what his plus minuses are because I don't even know who's the favorite at this point. It fluctuates so
Huh.
much. Definitely not Joker because he missed a lot of time. Shea missed some time. He's been out for a bit. The usual suspect.
That's
Luka's missed some time.
the favorite right now
Yeah.
is Shea, Nikola, it's Jokic, Cunningham, Wembanyama. Jaylen Brown is plus 7,500. Luka Doncic is ahead of him. Kind of crazy.
You know what? To be honest with you, depending on how this season plays out, man, I wouldn't be surprised if Cade won it.
I
Cade
could
would
see
be
Cade
my.
winning. Cade is plus 600. Cade is
If I put some money down now, I'd put it on Cade because number one seed in the conference to go from where they were last year, number one seed in the
yeah,
conference, and it's and in 85% of that is based on his performance and what he does for that team. Yeah, I would give it.
yeah.
I would really look at Cade as being that if it was a dark horse, if you could even say a guy who's at third place is a dark horse. Um,
And people are going to
I
remember that
would give him.
performance in the Garden, and the media is already talking about him too. That's true.
Yep.
I think Jaylen Brown deserves it because he's been playing his ass off all year, and he's been giving it to people. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
hands down,
Yeah.
like he's that dude. He's been showing it. He's been showing like why he was talking about that people don't put enough respect in my name, and like I don't understand why I'm not talked about in this aspect, or why I'm not looked at as a number one player. And it's like this year he's showing why he should be, and why he's such a why he's a super max player. So I get it.
Which is interesting because if anybody that listens to this show, you guys might have heard us talk about when last season when Tatum went down, I don't know if I mentioned this in the chat or I mentioned it on the show, but I did talk about what would happen with Jaylen Brown and when Tatum comes back. Because now that he's the true number one, right? Because when he got drafted the year before Tatum, right? So the vast majority of his career, it's been Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum together. So you can't even really count that rookie year because he's a rookie, right? But this year, he's a truly, like, he is the number one guy on the team. He's leading the charge. He is the alpha. You know, what happens when Tatum comes back? Because we did see this also happen years ago when a lot of people now don't remember, but we did also see this happen with the Bulls. When Michael Jordan went to go play baseball for that year, Scottie Pippen went off. And when Michael Jordan came back, there was some time they had to take to mesh and to bring it back together. He had to give that off. And it felt like it never really went back because eventually Scottie Pippen decided he wanted his own team and went to Portland after they finished
Scotty
that run.
wanted more money and the Bulls were being cheap and they were never going to pay Scotty. It had to do with
They were
cash,
never,
but we didn't know that back then. That wasn't the story.
Right. So I'll be interested to see, but because they're both paid, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum,
Yeah.
they both got their money. They're both paid. They're both good from that perspective. But I would be interested to see what that dynamic looks like next season when Tatum is back and Brown is relegated back to 1A. Because ain't no such thing as 1A right now. 1A, 1B right now. There's one.
It's
Everybody else is a number. Everybody else is 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
Everything. So when we
say
gotta
this.
share that load, what's gonna happen?
Peyton Pritchard's about to get paid, and I see why they kept him. I see why they didn't trade him, and they had to trade Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday helped them get that title, and Porzingis really helped too. But I think the center position is going to be the reason why the Celtics don't go forward. Them getting the center, not Jokic, but the other Nikola from Chicago, Vucevic. Thank you, getting Vucevic. That's going to make a big difference for them. But he's not that good defensively, but he's better than what they had offensively. So I think it adds to what Joe Mazzulla wants to do in terms of putting up as many threes as possible to be able to win games. He will help them get to the second round, possibly even. If they end up having to play Detroit, that would be huge.
Yeah, he gives them a little bit better.
I want to see Celtics, Boston. I want to see Celtics, Detroit, second round. And Knicks, Cavs, second round.
The Knicks better get out of fourth because right now they're in fourth. They're lined up for Detroit. I don't want to see. I want to wait to see if they can make it through and get to that Eastern Conference Finals against them.
Those are the matchups I'm praying for on this Sunday right now. But we're gonna go into our shout outs. We're gonna make this episode a short one. And I'm gonna start with my shout outs. Shout out to Draymond Green for making a very good point. We got to let these players fight. We can't sit here and call everybody soft and then get upset when people get into fights like what happened in the Detroit-Charlotte game about a week and a half ago. I'm all for it. Give them the suspensions, but if they're going to throw hands, let them throw hands. The assistant coaches and everybody jumping in the way, don't risk it. Don't risk it. You know what I mean? Let them get the punch off. If those two are just going to fight, just let them fight. I'm okay with it. I agree. We can't sit here and call them soft and then on the other hand, get upset when these guys fight and don't show themselves in the best respect. NFL players go crazy all the time. They hit each other. Hockey players hit each other. Baseball players hit each other. Let the NBA players fight. Sometimes they got to throw hands. Not all the time, but occasionally when it gets heated, if they want to throw hands, let them throw hands, especially during the regular season. It'll make the 82 games go faster and we'll pay attention more. So shout out to him. Shout out to the winner of the NBA Slam Dunk Contest. You made me some money because I believed in you and I bet on you. And shout out to my Knicks, who won last night over Houston, Kevin Durant. And shout out to Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant's a burner. I don't believe it's him, but I'm going to tell you, that dude who was tweeting like he was him, that was hilarious. Go ahead, Malik. That was funny. That was some good stuff. Man.
Oh, no. It absolutely was. I absolutely agree with it. It's definitely made for some very interesting conversation over the past few. Shout out to burner accounts in general. Athletes having burner, because KD's not the only one. That's the other thing, right? KD's not the only one with a burner account.
In the NBA.
He's just the most well-known in the NBA, but he's not the only one that has a burner account. So shout out to burner accounts in general that do this and troll and do all of that stuff, because It shows that these guys are taking whether they take this stuff seriously or not, what people say seriously or not, they're
Mm.
finding ways to ignite conversations and generate the fun. So shout out to that. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it light. Shout out to the Yankees, man. We're back. Baseball is back. We're getting ready to roll into the spring and the summer. And the Yankees have reported. I just saw the first preseason game. I just saw my first preseason. I didn't see the first preseason game. I saw my first preseason game yesterday when they beat Detroit. They just lost to the Mets today. They beat Detroit 20-3. Aaron Judge had his first home run of the preseason. Baseball feels like it's coming back slowly, and I'm always here for that. Love the sport, love the game, love to get out and see some games over the course of the summer. So shout out to that. Um, shout out to shout out to the NBA All-Star trying to do what they need to do. And most importantly, I know you guys don't agree with me on this. Shout out to the NFL Pro Bowl situation ship that they're doing out there. Look, I'm not saying that it's great. I'm not saying that it's great. I'm not saying that it's the best thing since sliced bread. I'm not saying that at all, right? But what I am saying is there is a way to go. The NFL has gone all in on the concept of this is not football anymore. Right? When we get to this point, at this moment, it's not football. It is the Pro Bowl games, and we are celebrating football, but we're not playing football anymore. Not here.
No.
Because and I shout out to that because there was this moment, and it's kind of like what people say about the NBA All-Star game is like there's this moment where people are like, yeah, but they're not playing hard. But it's an exhibition game. Yeah, but we want them to play harder. We want them to play like it means something, but it really doesn't. So, with the NFL players, the main thing that you want. These are literally all the best players from your respective teams are there. The last thing you want to see is your star offensive tackle, your star quarterback, your star receiver get themselves hurt in any significant way because they decided to play hard in a Pro Bowl game. Like really, okay. I don't want to see none of that. I cringed when I saw Jamar Chase. He picked off the pass from Jared Goff and he ran down the thing, and when he flipped into the end zone and didn't make the whole flip and fell on his ass, I cringed because I was like, God forbid he would have done that and snapped a kneecap or something like that. Because I'm like, dude, it would completely destroy the whole fun of it. I'm perfectly fine with people complain about where the Pro Bowl went, and I get it. There's the nostalgia of like the big hits from the Pro Bowl and watching the two best teams play against each other, but there's too much at stake, especially in football, with these guys getting themselves injured, with these guys getting themselves hurt, and the NFL knows this, and like they figure out a way to make it fun for the people in attendance, make it fun for the fans that show up, and make it fun for the players that show up, make it a media event, make it like it's damn near Nickelodeon NFL style. You know what I mean? Like it's that level. But they went all in on it, and I'm perfectly fine with it. I don't watch it at home. And you know what? You don't have to. But I can imagine that if you go to the event, you have a lot of fun and you get the experience of the NFL. You get to celebrate football in a way that doesn't put the players, who are the most important people, in any kind of jeopardy and makes them ready for the next season. So shout out to them for that.
Yeah.
I'm glad LeVon's not here because he completely disagreed with me, and we'd have a whole side conversation about this, about how he's destroying the integrity of the game and all of this shit.
Yeah.
He'd be on his soapbox about everything, and I'm glad he's not here to argue that. So I was able to get my shit off. But yeah, shout out to them for that, man. I'm good.
Competitors gotta compete.
No,
that's where he's at with it all the time. I just want them to move it to after the Super Bowl because the guys in the Super Bowl deserve to go to the Pro Bowl and get that vacation. And before, it used to be a free vacation to Hawaii. And the NFL took that away, and I think that's what still sucks. But
agreed.
I get why they do it, because they do it in the week in between, and now they're doing it at the site where the Super Bowl is going to be. So it's more a celebration for the fans, and the fans can come out to get autographs and kids to come out and see their favorite player and things like that. So in terms of the marketing aspect of it and getting to meet fans, it makes more sense. and hopefully they could build some kind of tradition out of it and make it more fun. But either way, like I think the players are enjoying themselves and getting used to it and realizing they don't got to take it so seriously or get hurt no more. So that's good.
Just do me a favor. Bring back the quarterback games. There was so you know that I didn't even know this was a thing, right? So you know in the combine when the receivers have to run that gauntlet where they like run in a straight line and the guys throw the ball from each side or whatever, they got to catch it and finish, right? There was a wide receiver thing. I don't even know if it was in the Pro Bowl or whatever, where like today's wide receivers had to do that. They had to they would start at
and they would use a jugs machine.
Yeah, and they would run down the line, they'd stop, put the ball down, and then run back, and it was timed. And right, and whoever had the fastest time wins. Let's do that. Bring that back. Bring those types of skill-based,
fastest man competition, strongest man competition, 225.
That would be cool because I think the players would be perfectly fine with doing that, and they won't get themselves injured. Most likely, they won't get themselves injured doing that. Bring those back, televise those things, make it fun. Keep going.
Or
figure out ways to do that.
Or we're gonna have an old timers game and let old football players come back and play flag football. You just sign the insurance later.
That would be fine too.
And if you're gonna be in the NBA All-Star game, NBA celebrity game as a former NBA player, I'm gonna need you to be over the age of 50. I don't want Taco Fall out here at 29. I want people to the fourth row because you're 7'5". He was in the league for 6 years. This is ridiculous. Jason Williams being out there, that's fine. But if you're a former player in the Celebrity All-Star game, I'm going to need you to be over the age of 50. You can't be too young. You can't look like you can still go out there and do it. That's all I'm saying.
I'll go the other way. I think you're onto a point. We should have an old-timers All-Star game where we bring back old NBA players at over 50 and they can play. I mean, we call it the Big Three. But we should do that in the same All-Star format and make the celebrity game a true celebrity game. I have no interest in the celebrity game because I could care less if if the guy from the State Farm commercials can actually play basketball. I could give a shit personally. I don't care if Drewski can.
You don't care if Jake from State Farm got a jumper.
No care whatsoever. Could care less.
You don't want to see Shams throw up some threes.
No, not interested. That's not what you're here for, Shams. But if you want to have a celebrity game, make it a true celebrity game. All celebrities, non-basketball players, non-hoopers and stuff like that. True celebrities, and do to your point, like where were they, or where have they been type of basketball game for those guys who are just out of the league.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough. And on that note, we out. Catch us here on YouTube every week. Listen to us for the audio audience on Spotify. Please rate, review, and give us 5 stars. We need all the help we can get. And remember, this is the Uptown Parlay Podcast, the greatest sports betting podcast in the world.
Peace.
We out.